Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Eric Waltzman, and I'm going to tell you why buying my used car with cash was one of the smartest financial moves I ever made, but also way more stressful than I expected. Most people think paying cash for a car is either impossible or means you're settling for a beater. But I'm here to show you exactly how I did it, what went wrong, and what I'd do differently. Quick heads up, this is for educational purposes only and not financial advice. Here's the reality. The average monthly car payment in America right now is around $530 for a used vehicle. That's over $6,000 a year going straight to interest and a depreciating asset. When I was 27 and finally debt free, I had $1,200 in my savings account and a car that was literally held together with duct tape and prayer. I knew I needed something reliable, but I also knew that taking on a car payment would destroy all the momentum I'd built, paying off my $40,000 in debt. So I made a plan to save up and buy used with cash, and 18 months later, I drove home in a paid off car. But let me tell you, I learned some hard lessons along the way that nobody talks about. First thing I learned, you need way more cash than just the sticker price. This was my biggest mistake going in. I saved up $4,500, found a car listed at $4,200, and thought I was golden. Wrong. I forgot about sales tax, which in my state was 6%, so that's another $252. Then there's registration and title fees, which ran me about $175. The dealer also charged me a documentation fee of $200, which I didn't even know was negotiable at the time. On top of that, I needed an inspection before I could register it. That was another $60. And here's the kicker. My insurance company required me to pay 6 months up front since I was a new customer with them, which was $480. Suddenly, my $4,200 car cost me over $5,300, and I was scrambling. My advice? Budget at least 20% over the asking price to cover all of these hidden costs. Make a checklist before you even start shopping. Tax, title, registration, inspection, insurance deposit, and any dealer fees. Call your insurance company first and get an actual quote for the cars you're considering because rates vary wildly by make and model. I ended up having to put some of those fees on a credit card, which I then had to pay off, and that defeated part of the purpose. Second, timing your purchase is everything, and I got this one right by accident. I started seriously shopping in late January, right after the holidays, when dealerships are desperate to move inventory and most people are broke from Christmas spending. The competition was way lower. I also shopped during the week, never on weekends, because salespeople have more time to negotiate when the lot isn't packed. But here's what I learned that really matters. You have way more negotiating power when you're not desperate. Because I had saved up my cash first and my current car was still running, barely I could walk away from any deal. I looked at probably 15 different cars over 2 months. I made lowball offers on 3 of them and walked away when they wouldn't budge. That patience saved me at least $800 compared to the first car I almost bought in a panic. The specific step here is to start shopping at least 2 months before you actually need the car, if possible. Set up alerts on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, and AutoTrader for your target vehicle. Check them every single day. Learn what a good deal looks like in your market by watching what sells fast. When you find a promising car, sleep on it for at least 24 hours before making an offer. Desperation will cost you hundreds or thousands of dollars. Here's something most people don't realize. Back in 2019, I watched my roommate finance a $7,000 used car at 14% interest because his credit was mediocre. Over 5 years, he paid over $11,000 total for that car. Meanwhile, if he'd driven his old beater for 1 more year and saved that monthly payment, he could have paid cash and literally saved $4,000. That 1 year of patience would have been worth more than any investment return he could have gotten. Sometimes the best financial move is just waiting when everyone around you is upgrading. Third thing, get a pre-purchase inspection no matter what anyone tells you. This cost me $100, but saved me from buying a money pit. I found what looked like a perfect Honda Civic with 110,000 miles, clean title, 1 owner, priced at $3,800. The seller had maintenance records and everything looked great. I was ready to hand over the cash, but I insisted on taking it to a mechanic first, and the seller got weirdly defensive about it. That was red flag number 1. He finally agreed, and my mechanic found that the timing belt had never been replaced, which was due at 100,000 miles and would cost about $800. The transmission fluid was burnt, suggesting transmission problems were coming, probably another 2,000 to fix. And there was frame damage that had been poorly repaired that wasn't on the Carfax. I walked away, and sure enough, that car was relisted 3 weeks later at $3,200. For a $100 inspection, I avoided thousands in repairs. Here's what you do. Once you're serious about a car, tell the seller you want to take it to your mechanic for an inspection. If they refuse, walk away immediately. No exceptions. Find a mechanic who does pre-purchase inspections. Call ahead and ask what they check and how much it costs. Usually between $75 and $150. Don't use a mechanic the seller recommends. If the inspection finds issues, you can either walk away or use those findings to negotiate a lower price. Fourth, I learned that the right car isn't always the cool car. It's the one that's cheap to own. I originally wanted something fun, maybe a sporty sedan or a small SUV. But when I actually ran the numbers on insurance, gas, and typical repair costs, I realized I'd be car poor. I ended up with a 2011 Toyota Corolla with 135,000 miles. Boring? Absolutely. But my insurance is $105 a month. It gets 35 miles per gallon, and Toyota parts are everywhere and cheap. A friend of mine bought a used Audi the same year for about the same price, and his insurance alone is over $200 a month. Plus, he just paid $900 for a repair that would have cost $300 on my Toyota. Over 3 years, my total cost of ownership has been probably $5,000 less than his, and we paid the same up front. Here's my hot take that'll make some car people mad. Certified pre-owned programs are mostly a scam for the financially cautious. Yeah, I said it. A 2023 study by Consumer Reports found that CPO cars cost on average $2,400 more than equivalent non-certified used cars, but the extended warranty and inspection you get are often worth less than $1,000 in actual value. You're paying double for peace of mind. You can get yourself with a pre-purchase inspection and a separate extended warranty if you really want one. The CPO markup is pure profit for dealers preying on fear. Do your own due diligence, save the premium, and you'll come out ahead every time. Fifth and finally, having a cash emergency fund after the purchase is just as important as saving for the car itself. 3 months after I bought my Corolla, the alternator died. $700. If I hadn't kept some cash in reserve, I would have had to put that on a credit card, and I'd be right back in debt. This is what nobody tells you about buying used. Something will break, it's just a question of when. Even reliable cars need repairs. My rule now is to keep at least $1,000 to $1,500 in a separate car emergency fund that I don't touch for anything else. Every time I use some of it for a repair, I build it back up over the next few months. I also budget $50 a month for car maintenance, oil changes, new tires eventually, that kind of thing. So I'm not surprised when those expenses come up. It took me 18 months of saving, but I've been driving payment free for 3 years now. And that $6,000 plus a year that's not going to a car payment has let me max out my Roth IRA and actually start building wealth. So let me know in the comments, are you currently saving for a car, or are you stuck in a car payment you want to get out of? What's holding you back from paying cash? Hit subscribe if this was helpful, because next week I'm breaking down exactly how I saved my first $10,000 and how long it actually took. You've got this.